Hey, what's up? Somebody asked me how I did the brass coating on some bolts in a previous video. It's really easy. First, you're going to need some brass brushes. The bristles need to be 100% brass and not brass coated steel. About $3 at Tractor Supply. You also need a torch, about $30 to $60. You can get them Home Depot, Walmart, made by Burns-O-Matic. Here's my sacrificial bolt from a C10 project. And then after it's coated, I sandblasted all the bolts that I coated in a Harbor Freight blast cabinet. They're about 150 bucks. The only downside really on them is that they do need a lot of air. You're not going to be able to run it with a pancake compressor or something small. I would think that you could coat new bolts, but I've never tried it. I've only done it with blasted bolts. I used a block of wood to hold the bolts, so I didn't drop them through the grates, but I did have to pull it out to get the threads. For the video, I held the bolt in a small vise while I was heating it with the torch, and slipped the bolt in a piece of scrap copper tubing to keep from mangling the threads, but I've also used a pair of channel locks to hold the bolts. Just heat the bolt up, rub it with the brass brush, and repeat. I call this brass coating. I think as opposed to like brass plating. I guess there's a way to brass plate, maybe electrically, electrostatic, to have, transfer the brass to the steel. I don't know how to do that, but there may be a way. I saw somebody do this on another YouTube video years ago and just wanted to try it and see how it would come out. It starts to get that yellow color, and then as you heat it up, it gets darker and darker. My first brush fell apart while I was making the video. I'd used it to coat another 5 bolts before this. I had to switch and use a new one. 5 or 6 bolts is about all I was able to get per brush. I'm not sure how long this coating will last. I looked at the bolts I installed on the truck and it looked like they had some rust spots on them already. They've maybe been on there like a week and it hasn't been exposed to any elements. So this bolt, I'm just going to leave it outside and, let it get rained on and see how it does. I sped these videos up, but the total time in the blast cabinet was about a minute, and the total time to apply the brass coating was about 5 minutes, and that's videoing while I'm doing it. So you could probably do it a little quicker if you weren't trying to do the video. If I had a lot of bolts to do, I think I'd try it with an angle grinder if I could find a brass wheel for it. I think that would probably be the fastest way. I wouldn't try to do this with an acetylene torch. I think it'd just get way too hot. But with the propane torch, I did check it with the temperature gun this time. I think it gets to about 250, 300 degrees when I try to get it in the video, but the temperature falls off on the bolt very quickly, so my temperature gun only showed 230 when I took a picture of it. The previous bolts I didn't check to see how hot they got. And here's what it looks like when you're done. The end.